Morning, everybody. How are you all doing today? I'm doing pretty good myself because today we're actually going to be branching out a little bit in terms of content. Now, usually on my channel, if you've been following me for a while, I cover console fanboys and PC fanboys because that's something that I'm interested in. I think it's fun to find these videos and give my reasons for why I disagree with the people. I think that's fun. But the problem is, and I said this in the last video I uploaded, is that when nothing major is going on in the gaming industry, the console fanboys tend to be a lot more quiet and dormant. So yeah, I wanted to branch out a little bit, and we're gonna start. I'll keep covering fanboys as they appear, so don't worry about that. People who sub to me for the fanboy content, please don't unsub. It's not going away, don't worry. But we're also going to be uploading whenever there's no fanboys to cover. I want to upload sort of like how the Axeman does it, where he like goes over like either old games or like newer games and gives his thoughts on it. I kind of wanted to do something like that because, especially in the case of Vanguard, I know I have a very unpopular opinion where I really love the multiplayer. I think it's really fun. Like, I'm not here to argue that Vanguard is a good game. That's not what I'm trying to argue. I'm just arguing my points for why I enjoy the game. Like, just because, like, I acknowledge the game is not good objectively compared to previous CODs. Vanguard is not a good game, but I just want to explain why I enjoy it because it would just be a fun video, I think, to make. Like, I want to make another video. I know I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so yeah, I figured branch out a little bit. Why not? Also, I have to throw this disclaimer on the video because I know I'm probably going to get crap for it if I don't. I started playing Call of Duty at Modern Warfare 2019. I know, guys. Go ahead, nail me to the cross. I know I've committed a grave offense. I didn't play any of the older, more classic Call of Duties. But I just wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way because just in case I say anything that comes across as a bit strange or something for someone who has played all the COD games, just know I haven't. I started with Modern Warfare 2019, so I don't know if that's going to explain why I have certain thoughts about the game, but whatever. Just wanted to get that disclaimer out there, and without further ado, let's get into the first topic. Now, before I even start section 1, I just want to, again, provide another disclaimer. This entire video, in case it wasn't obvious enough already, is my opinion. So anything I say, unless I state that it is an objective fact, it is my opinion. So don't come at me saying that I'm trying to act like everyone should think the way I am. I don't. I understand a lot of people don't agree with me on the things I have to say. I also do have a lot of gripes with the game that I actually have an entire section of this video dedicated to the gripes I have. But please just remember, this is my opinion, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, the first section we have is opening the game. Now, Vanguard, in my opinion, has the most epic opening cinematic of the last 3 Call of Duty, so Modern Warfare, Cold War, and now Vanguard. I mean, just go ahead and watch it for yourself. I'll play it right now. I honestly just find this intro cinematic so perfect. And don't worry, I'm not like a fanboy. I'm not someone who sits there every time I boot up the game and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great sound. Oh, I love this intro cinematic. Like, no, I don't sit there and watch it. But I always, like with every Call of Duty game and with every game I boot up in general, the first time I play it, I like to just sit and let the cards roll and stuff, like the title cards roll and the music play, just so I can like fully experience what I'm about to get into. And Vanguard's definitely impressed me the most out of the last 3 Call of Duties. Like, that music, I don't know if it's just me being a sucker for string instruments or something, but I love how the cello so just gently leads in with the opening melody, and how towards the end the music starts to pick up as the logo shows up, and you have the cinematics playing in the letters of the logo as it slowly fades into view. And I just love it so much. I think it was done so well. And I also love how every time there's a major like drum beat in the background, the logos of the studios that worked on the game slam onto the screen. Like, I don't want to get like too deep into anything, but obviously like that's just sort of meant to symbolize like the logo slamming themselves onto the screen. It's supposed to symbolize the drumstick hitting the drum. And I don't know, man, like this opening cinematic just hit different for me. Now, is it perfect? No, of course not. I mean, they could have like some really awesome opening cutscene showing you in the middle of the Battle of Normandy Beach or something like that, like on D-Day or something. I don't know. There's definitely a lot more ways they could have gone about this better, but honestly, I just love what's here. Like, I think it was near perfect for what it is. And I know an opening cinematic for a game is probably one of the least important things about it. I just wanted to touch on it, though, because honestly, I just love this one so much, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. But anyway, let's get into the next section, shall we? Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend that Vanguard's characters are very memorable, because while for me, I know I'll always remember Arthur Kinsley. God, I love that character so much. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and pretend the characters are memorable, because compared to other characters from the COD franchise like Captain Price, Russell Adler, Franklin Woods, Alex Mason, like these Vanguard characters, unless Vanguard 2's campaign is a lot better, these characters are not very memorable. But I just wanted to talk about them anyway, because honestly, despite them not being memorable, I think in the short term, they're pretty good characters in my opinion, especially like I mentioned, Arthur. And the two other characters that mainly stand out to me are Lucas and Polina. And again, like I said, I'm not going to argue these characters are memorable, because even I don't think they're memorable. I do not, like, besides Arthur, like I said, I don't think these characters are very memorable. But honestly, I just love the personality these characters have. Like, in multiplayer, like, I just love their voice quips, especially when they crack some jokes, like, in the middle of combat, which I know, it's a World War II shooter. Oh, it's supposed to be super dark. But look, people, like, let's face facts. The campaign is meant to be historically accurate and like dark and gritty. When you have Snoop Dogg, Attack on Titan, and laser guns in your multiplayer, I don't think you should be taking it too seriously, in all honesty, which the characters clearly aren't, so why should you? But anyway, I just always love it when I play Arthur most of the time, and I just always love it when, if I have a sticky bomb, I stick someone with it, he'll say that, oh, this is a sticky situation. I don't know. It's really corny, I know, but I don't know. There's something charming about it to me. There's a bunch of charisma to it, in my opinion. And also, this is going to be an extremely unpopular opinion, because I know a lot of people really hate the British announcer dude, but honestly, I love the guy. He's probably, but besides the British announcer dude from Modern Warfare, he's definitely my favorite announcer out of the 3 games that I've played. Just because, I don't know, just like the other characters, he doesn't really seem to be taking it too seriously. He seems to be having a lot of fun. Like, I could tell, like, just take a listen to the voice lines. You can tell that the voice actor had so much fun recording those lines. And honestly, I like the fact that they went for like a Halo style approach, where he'll say double kill, triple kill, fury kill, whatever. And then some of the voice lines when you use kill streaks, like if you nail an enemy with a glide bomb, he'll say boom. Like, I don't know, there's just something charming about it. And again, I know a lot of people like it when games are more serious, but again, I have to say, like, if you're going into a Call of Duty multiplayer with Snoop Dogg, laser guns, and Attack on Titan, you really shouldn't be taking it too seriously and expecting to enjoy it, like, honestly. Also, something I love is that going back to the operators you play as, every character has their own favorite gun, and if you play with that gun as that character, you get bonus XP towards that gun. I think that's a really cool system, in all honesty. And it's nothing major, like, it's nothing like pay to win, because there's obviously certain operators that can only be gotten from like buying bundles or the battle pass or whatever. But the bonus XP isn't so insane that I would qualify it as pay to win, in all honesty, especially since like I don't have some of the operators. Like, as you saw in the footage I was showing on screen earlier, going through all the operators, I don't have some of them, and yet I have those guns either high level or maxed out after not an insanely long time of playing. Like, the grind is not too much extra. Plus, with the surplus perk, which is unlocked very early on most guns, like, that just gives you an extra XP boost anyway, so you're basically not missing out on much. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I think the favorite gun system is pretty cool. I do think it should return in future CODs, in all honesty. And yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's get into section 3. So now to get into what is going to be by far the longest section of the entire video, and that being the maps, the combat pacing, and the destructible cover. So let's just start off with the fact that this is an objective fact. Again, not my opinion, this is fact. Vanguard has launched with the most maps in Call of Duty history, and I think only, what, like 2 of them were remakes of old ones, and all the other ones are completely new. And on top of that, most of the maps, at least in my opinion, are pretty damn good. The only ones that I really don't like are Dome, Numa. Those maps suck, in all honesty. But this is where Vanguard shines for me compared to Modern Warfare, especially because a lot of people like to say that Vanguard is just a worse Modern Warfare with a World War II skin. But when it comes to maps, like, Vanguard kind of stomps Modern Warfare, in my opinion. Like, the most launched maps in COD history. They've added way more since the game has launched, and basically all of them except for a few are good. And on top of having all these maps, now we have the new combat pacing feature, which a lot of people say it's just like a gimmick, it's just a marketing tool, and to an extent it is. But honestly, combat pacing, it's actually kind of useful for in quick play, if you want to like shorten down the range of maps that you can play. So if you want to do tactical pacing, it's likely gonna be on a smaller map because it's less players. Assault pacing, likely more on medium-sized maps because it's a good amount of players. And then Blitz is always gonna be on much bigger maps most of the time because it has so many players. By this combat pacing, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but honestly I really like it because it allows you to pick like the size of the lobbies you want to be in, and to an extent pick the maps you want to be in on. Now obviously, like, you can't directly select it, and honestly, that one of my gripes with Vanguard is that there's no map voting, which I'll mention again in the final section where I talk about all the gripes I have. Yeah, it's annoying there's no map voting, but with this combat pacing, you can basically narrow down the amount of maps that you can play on. So if you know the maps you like are in one of the pacings, then just select that pacing and you're all good. And also, I didn't think the destructible cover was going to be very useful at first, but I'm happy to say I was proven wrong, especially on that map that you saw me playing on in the first clip, where I was like constantly breaking down the walls and stuff. Like, that map was clearly made to show off the destructible environments, because like, and not just on that map, on pretty much any map that has a good amount of destructible cover, it's actually very useful. Like, there's been a lot of times where I just like punch a hole in a wall and I flank 2 people from there and I'm able to kill them, and they had no idea I was going to be there because there used to be a wall there, and then I put a hole through it. Like, honestly, I again did not think that the destructible cover would be very useful, but it actually is. And I love the destructible doors. Again, with Modern Warfare, like people nicknamed it Modern Doorfare because, you know, people could just hide behind doors and stuff and there was no way to like destroy them or anything like that. But in Vanguard, you can damn near fully destroy doors. And with the combination of much better map design than Modern Warfare, the ability to destroy doors, and the just destructible cover in general, it practically eliminates camping. Like, I'm not going to deny there is still camping. I mean, come on, guys, it's a first-person shooter. There's always going to be camping no matter what. But there is like significantly less camping compared to Modern Warfare, except for in one mode, which I'm going to talk about a little later. I'm not going to get into that right now. But for every mode except this one mode, there's very little camping compared to Modern Warfare, thanks to these core gameplay decisions. And honestly, it was a really great change by Sledgehammer, and that's honestly a huge advantage that Vanguard has over Modern Warfare. But anyway, guys, with that said, we are now going to get into the fourth section. Vanguard's Gunsmith is literal perfection. Yeah, that's how I'm going to start off this topic, and here's why. Because I know so many people loved Modern Warfare's Gunsmith design. Like, so many people said it was perfection. And then with Cold War, it was definitely a step down, but you got to see how each attachment specifically affected your gun, like specific ADS speeds, like recoil control. You could see those specific performance metrics just so you can know exactly how your gun was going to be affected by the attachment you put on. And Vanguard's is literally Modern Warfare's design with that extreme specificity. So, I mean, what else could you really ask for? You have the perfect design with Cold War's extreme, like, attention to detail with, like, milliseconds on ADS speed and how hard the weapon's going to kick vertically and horizontally. Honestly, I do believe that Vanguard's Gunsmith is literal perfection. But that's enough of me gushing over the Gunsmith and its perfection. Let's move on to the fact that you can put all 10 attachments on your weapons. Now, this, for some reason, I don't really understand why this is a more controversial topic, because honestly, I don't think it should be, because I know there's the whole thing of like, oh, you can make the gun super cursed, like you can put the drum mag on the Garand, and yeah, I'm not going to deny that is cursed as hell. Like, don't get it twisted. I will absolutely agree that stuff, like putting a drum mag on a Garand or putting a sniper scope on a 1911, like that stuff is extremely cursed. But honestly, I keep bringing this point up, but it's a multiplayer game. Like, in the campaign, if these guns were in the campaign, then absolutely, that's something to complain about. But I don't really think, like, it's something to complain about in the multiplayer, because, I mean, first of all, it's the multiplayer. Like, again, you know, you got laser guns, Attack on Titan, like, we're going to have Godzilla soon. So, yeah, again, like, you should not be playing a Call of Duty multiplayer and expecting it to be historically accurate. Now, I will acknowledge that I do believe Sledgehammer tried to use the historically accurate excuse for why they didn't include a trophy system or something like that. I think it was something along those lines. That is BS. I'm going to call them out on that one. That is completely idiotic, that they're going to try to claim it's historically accurate. Like, it's very obvious they're claiming it's historically accurate whenever it's convenient for them, and that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. Like, they should be called out for that, absolutely. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I really don't mind that, like, you can make your guns as cursed as possible. In fact, I like it. Like, sometimes I like to just sit down with my friends in a Discord call and just try to build the most cursed guns I possibly can, and then surprise them with a screen share of it, and then they, like, freak out because of how bad it looks. Like, honestly, I really like doing that. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But moving on from cursed guns, the next thing we have is all the new ammo types that Vanguard has included. Now, obviously, with Modern Warfare, there was, what was it? There was a perk. It was the FMJ perk where you got extra penetration. But I think that was basically it. And then, like, some Modern Warfare mags, like, changed the ammo a little bit. But with Vanguard's guns, every single gun in the game has not only extended mags and smaller mags with faster reloads, but it also has bigger and smaller caliber rounds which can affect damage, bullet velocity, recoil control, all that stuff. So you have much more versatility with how you want to design your guns. Like, for example, if it's a closer range gun, you might want to do the higher damage and worse recoil control. But if it's a longer range gun, you might want to do lower damage, but way better recoil control. Like, you have a lot more customization options. And then also getting into specific ammo types, which that's something new to Vanguard as far as I know. Like, you've got all these different types of ammo. So what was it? It's incendiary, hollow point, frangible, lengthened, armor piercing, and subsonic, and FMJ as well. And that's just what the launch guns came with. Like, I'm going to get into this in a little bit when I talk about, like, DLC guns and additional content. But with almost every new gun, there's been a new ammo type included that is, like, only available on that gun. Like, on the Cooper Carbine, it's, like, compressed rounds, I think, which gives you extra fire rate or something like that. And honestly, like, I really like that not only, like, do they have all these different ammo types on launch, but with each new gun they add, they're bringing even more. Like, I think that's just awesome. And I'm now realizing I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I got to loop back to the all 10 attachments real quick. I honestly really like that you're not restricted to just 5 out of however many attachments your gun can have. I do really like that because, yeah, having only 5 attachments, I understand, like, that made it a bit more strategic. You had to really pick and choose what you wanted. I understand that. But at the same time, like, I don't have a problem with the fact that people get way more customization options, way more combinations they can do with all the attachments. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great, honestly, that they're just allowing for, like, maximum creativity with these guns, even if that creativity does go down the cursed rabbit hole a little bit. But yeah, no, I love that you can put all 10 attachments on because you can build some honestly extremely kitted out guns. And honestly, a big reason, like, I play Warzone, like, quite a bit, not as much as Vanguard, but I play Warzone quite a bit as well. And I use Cold War and Modern Warfare guns in Warzone, but a lot of the time I'll make loadouts with Vanguard guns because I just have the freedom of using all the attachments. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people would use the Vanguard guns in Warzone, but I'm not going to get too much into Warzone because, like, that's not what this video is about. And the last thing I wanted to mention before we're done with this section is the fact that now when it's showing, oh, like, plus recoil control or minus recoil control, plus ADS speed, minus, like, damage range or whatever, now it has numbers included with it that give you a more general idea. So it's like, so for example, if you have a smaller caliber round mag and it takes off some damage but then adds a ton of recoil control, it'll say, like, -1 damage but +5 recoil control and accuracy. Like, I just really like that, honestly. It makes it a bit more clear. Like, if you don't want to go into the super specific, like, oh, like, milliseconds of ADS speed or, like, millisecond, like, how many feet per second or meters per second the bullet velocity is, you can just see, like, oh, this is a +1, this is a +2, whatever. So it's, like, very obvious which attachments are better for what. And you don't have to rely on those stupid bars at the bottom of the screen that are, quite honestly, pretty inaccurate for most guns. And also, something I really appreciate is how if an attachment just gives you near no recoil or, say, near perfect bullet velocity or something like that, instead of just saying, like, plus, like, 8 bullet velocity or +8 recoil control, it'll literally just say highly accurate and controllable, or in some cases it'll literally say no, like, damage fall off, or, like, extremely fast bullet velocity. Like, I just like that if it's so fast that the numbers can't even really describe it, they literally just say, like, oh yeah, this is just, like, well, it's what it is. It's highly accurate and controllable. Like, we don't need to put a number on it because, like, this is basically, if you want to have the best recoil control, use this barrel. Like, there's no question about it. But yeah, enough about the Gunsmith. Why don't we get into the actual guns themselves? Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is an unpopular opinion. I'm going to assume it is, but I like Vanguard's gameplay more than Modern Warfare's. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that offended any Modern Warfare fans out there, but I like the way the guns feel in Vanguard more. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I love Modern Warfare's as well. Modern Warfare's is great, and it was damn near perfection. And not saying Vanguard's is perfect, but Vanguard's, in my opinion, is even more near perfection than Modern Warfare's. Like, just take a listen to these sounds when you get kills, especially when you get headshot kills. Like, that sound is just chef's kiss.
Bike. Yes, there we go.
But yeah, honestly, if I had to pick my favorite part of Vanguard as a whole, I would probably say the gunplay. Like, those hit marker effects, especially those headshots, like, that is perfection, and you cannot change my mind. You can disagree with me, obviously. Like, I will respect your opinion. In fact, if you guys disagree with me and you guys think like maybe Cold War, Modern Warfare, or any other COD game does it better, then please, like, let me know in the comments below. Tell me why, because I love talking with you guys in the comments. I love hearing your different opinions, and I love just being able to like share what we love about each different game. But yeah, the kill sound effects with the hit markers, they're amazing. And I know the guns, Sledgehammer gets a lot of crap because a lot of these guns don't sound the best. Like, they don't sound the most accurate compared to real life. But honestly, I just love the sounds, and I love the reloads as well. One of my favorite things about Modern Warfare was the reloads. And I don't think this game does that quite as well, but I think it's damn near as good. Like, this is going to be a longer section. It's just going to be clips that I got in private matches of like reloads and like gunshots and stuff, but just take a look. And again, I understand that people might not like that the guns don't sound as realistic, but in all honesty, I'm okay with it, because once again, for like the 5th time, it's multiplayer, not meant to be super realistic, and also they just sound so good that I can't really be bothered by it anyway. But the last thing I wanted to cover in terms of the guns was the mastery camos. Now, in my opinion, alright, just brace yourselves for this one, I like Atomic more than Damascus. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I like Modern Warfare's gold better than Vanguard's gold. I like Cold War's diamond better than Vanguard's diamond. But I just love Atomic so much. Like, all I wanted from Damascus was for it to be animated and maybe for the colors to be a bit more vibrant, and Atomic accomplishes that. So, of course, I'm going to like it more. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. But yeah, with that said, let's get into the next topic. So I already covered this topic earlier a little bit. I talked about the Cooper carbine, but I wanted to dedicate an entire section. So I don't think this section of the video is going to be very long, but I just wanted to talk about the guns that have come post-launch. And honestly, I think basically all of them are great, because all of them are unique in their own right. They all, or for the most part, they bring either new attachments or new ammo types with them. Like I mentioned earlier, the Cooper Carbine brought the compressed rounds. The Gorenko or the Gorchenko, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but the anti-tank rifle brought concussive and explosive rounds. And on top of that, the flow of new guns has just been consistent. Like it hasn't just been, oh, once a season. Like every single season launch, we get like 2 new guns, and that's it. Like that has been the case, but then they've also been adding guns like in the middle of seasons as well, just like throughout seasons. So it's not like in Apex Legends, for example, where you have to hope that you get a single gun at the start of a new season. With this game, they've been adding multiple new guns at the start of every season and guns throughout the seasons as well. And again, like I honestly can't think of a single new gun that's been added that has been bad. Like seriously, I can't tell. If anybody else plays Vanguard, tell me in the comments below if any of the new guns that have been added have actually been bad, because as far as I remember, they've all been really good, especially in Arms Race, which we're gonna get to soon. But especially in Arms Race, the anti-tank rifle is rampant in that mode. And I really love the, how do you pronounce it, the Armagura 43. I'm gonna call it the 43. I love the 43 as well. Like I've just loved every single new gun that's been added. They've all been extremely good. Oh, and don't get me started on the KGM 40. I know you've been seeing that a lot throughout all the clips I've been uploading, and that's just because it just feels so good. Literally 0 recoil, as you guys have been seeing, and the time to kill feels fair to balance out the 0 recoil. So I just love all the new guns they've added, and the fact that there's been new like rounds and different types of ammo and stuff coming with those guns is just awesome. But yeah, that's enough about the new guns. This was a pretty short section, but the next section, in all honesty, might be even shorter. So let's get into it. Now, again, very short section here, but I just wanted to cover some attention to detail. Now, I am going to acknowledge right now the attention to detail in this game is not as good as Modern Warfare is. I know Modern Warfare definitely had more, so I'm not going to just deny that and be a fanboy over this game. I acknowledge Modern Warfare had better attention to detail and more of it, but I just wanted to go over some of the attention to detail that was here. So, yeah, just enjoy some clips of some attention to detail that this game has. So yeah, again, extremely short section, and I know I only found 2 examples there. I know there's more, but I just don't know what they are, or I just didn't feel like getting the footage to show them off. Just look up attention to detail Call of Duty Vanguard compilations on YouTube. You'll find like 10-minute videos full of them. But yeah, I just didn't want to include too many because, you know, I don't want it to seem like I'm just trying to stretch the video out. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the next topic. So now we'll arrive at the second to last main point that makes me love Vanguard so much, and in this case, it is the new game mode that was added in Season 2 called Arms Race. Now, Arms Race is insanely fun, in my opinion. Like, me and my friends play it all the time together. Now, I will say, the fact that there's only one map is embarrassing, and Sledgehammer needs to do better about that. I don't know why there was only one map after 2.5 seasons, plus however many years of development there was for this game. But whatever. I like it for what it is, but yeah, the fact that there's only one map is an embarrassment. So definitely add more. But basically how it works is you have 5 bases on a massive map. It's a 12v12 mode. And you're trying to capture as many bases as possible, and every 3 or so, 2 to 3 minutes, whatever, a nuke will spawn, and you have to capture the nuke and bring it back to one of your bases, and you can use the nuke to destroy enemy bases. And basically how you win is you either have to hold more bases than the enemy when the time runs out, or you have to hold all the bases that are on the map for a minute. So that's why it's useful to destroy bases, because then the enemy holds less and you hold more. And typically it's awesome. It's because typically what'll happen is it'll get down to one base being left and everyone hard rushes the same base, and it's so much fun. And it works a bit like Warzone in the sense that there's like cash. You get cash for capturing bases and getting kills and whatever. And then you can spend the cash on your loadout. You can buy kill streaks. You can buy vehicles, including tanks and jeeps. And the tanks are a lot of fun. Now, another gripe I do have is the fact that the way the camera is controlled on the tanks is god-awful, and I hate it. But the tanks themselves feel super good to use. They feel really powerful. They have a ton of range to them, and they can traverse like a ton of areas on the map with little difficulty, so they feel great to use. Now, my main gripe with this mode is it is extremely campy, and the anti-tank rifle is rampant in this mode, mainly because, you know, there's so many tanks everywhere, and also there's just so much area that people have to run through, so it's very easy to just get free sniper kills on people. So yeah, this mode is a bit campy, but at the same time, I honestly just enjoy it so much that I can kind of look past it, and I've kind of gotten used to dealing with the campers. Really, as long as they don't see you first and you just get a quick shot off on them, they're gonna die, so not really an issue there, honestly. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain the game mode and explain why I enjoy it so much. And without further ado, let's get into the last topic. Now, this section is going to be short. It's just going to be rapid fire reading off a bunch of issues I have. I thought about these for a while, and I have more issues than what's just listed here, but these are what popped into my head like almost immediately. So, issues. No factions. Why are the factions my team and enemy team? That is completely idiotic for a World War II game. Not the biggest deal in the world because, you know, like I said earlier, I like the British announcer dude, but how are there no factions in a World War II game? Even, I believe, the trailer promised we got to play as 6 different factions, so that was a lie. No map voting. Like I said, combat pacing kind of solves this, but it's still annoying nonetheless. It was one of my favorite features in Cold War. Extreme lack of game modes at launch. I might have started in Modern Warfare 2019, but I acknowledge that Vanguard literally only had like one new game mode at launch, and it was Patrol, which was just moving hardpoint. So as much as I love Patrol, not exactly blowing anything up. All right, next we have MVP screen. I think it's fine. I like it, but it should be able to be skipped. Like in Overwatch, once the play of the game screen comes up, then you can just leave the game immediately. You won't be penalized or anything like that. So should be able to skip the MVP screen. As nice as it is, I would definitely skip it if there was an option. Play the game, half the time doesn't work. It either won't show something or it'll show someone getting like a singular kill, and then it just cuts to a screenshot of the map for a couple seconds, and then it fades to the MVP screen. So still broken after almost 3 seasons. That's embarrassing. Like I said earlier, the tank, the camera view is extremely janky, and your view can get dragged around a lot if you go up a hill or something, so that needs to be fixed ASAP. In terms of character customization, only 2 quips per character. That's embarrassing, because I know, like, I used Apex Legends as an example earlier. Apex has tons of quips for characters and even has different variations of those quips. So, I mean, honestly, it's kind of embarrassing that there's only 2 quips per character. But, again, not the biggest deal in the world, just really annoying and shows a lack of effort. Next, we have audio will randomly cut out at times. That's embarrassing because that is still not fixed even now. Sometimes the game will go dead quiet for a couple seconds. I don't know how that's an issue. And finally, the combat shotgun is still kind of OP. Not as bad as it used to be, but definitely still extremely powerful, and they need to nerf it again. But anyway, guys, that's just going to about do it for this video. I just wanted to throw in that little issues thing at the end to prove that I'm not just going to blindly praise this game, and I do have a lot of issues with it. And don't get me wrong, I definitely do have a ton of issues with the campaign and zombies. If you guys want to see me make videos covering that stuff, then please do let me know. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get going here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video does well. I'm a little nervous to upload it, in all honesty, because I've never done a video like this before, and I know this is an extremely unpopular opinion. So hopefully this does well. But anyway, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if you want to see more fanboy content. And I will catch you guys next time.